hanging bridges, stone labyrinths, and frozen ridges. This is not your average Sunday walking trail. One misstep here, and you could plummet 100 meters, or into an active volcano. This is how to survive the most dangerous hikes in the world. These paths are for adventure seekers, where the possibility of dying is very real. If you want to test your trekking skills and visit these deadly places, you'll want to hear the survival tips we have for you. El Caminito del Rey, Spain. Located along the walls of the El Chorro Gorge, its name translates to the King's Path. This hiking trail was built in 1905 to make a route for workers to access a power plant. The path is about 3 kilometers long and hangs above the ground at a height of 100 meters. Its narrow wooden walkways and hanging bridge could be too much for the faint of heart, especially if you're afraid of heights. Between 1999 and 2000, parts of the bridge became so deteriorated that 5 people fell to their deaths into the river below. After a 14-year closure, the rebuilt bridge reopened in 2015 and is now pinned against a narrow gorge. If you are up to the challenge, you are now required to wear a hard hat on the path. And remember, once you begin the walk, you have to finish it. There's no turning back. Mount Hua, China. This hike leads to the south peak of Huazhen, one of the 5 great mountains of China. Its summit stands at about 2,155 meters, and the infamous wooden plank walk that leads to it makes for a very uneven journey. First, you'll need to climb down the steep cliff on metal rod stairs. Next, you'll have to hook onto a chain and use a harness to traverse up and down the mountain. The scariest part will be moving your carabiner clip over those returning hikers passing the plank in the opposite direction. And yes, once you finish the trail, you'll have to go back the same way. Patience and cooperation are essential for everyone to have a safe hike. Always keep your carabiner attached to the safety cable, especially if you want to take a photo. In 2019, a Chinese student fell to her death while taking a selfie. She was not wearing a harness. The Maze, United States. This trail is located in the remotest region of Utah's Canyonlands National Park. It takes marathon drives on dirt roads to get to the hike in the first place, and you usually need to go for a multi-day trip. The path will include steep drops and deep gullies where you could be at risk of rock falls and flash floods. The maze is full of dead ends and narrow passageways where you could easily get lost. Before you go, make sure to tell people when you'll be there. Also, chart your route with GPS, and don't forget some old-school maps, just in case. There aren't many natural springs in the maze, so bring enough water for the trip. Talk with the park rangers and let them know your itinerary. If you become lost, it could take rescuers up to 3 days to find you. If you fall and hurt yourself, try to set yourself up in an open area so you're visible to any helicopters scouting for you. Drakensberg Grand Traverse, South Africa. This epic 230-kilometer hike can take up to 2 weeks to finish. You'll begin by climbing up a set of chain ladders to reach the Drakensberg escarpment. With no distinct pathway, you'll need to use guides to help you get through the hike, which is filled with chain ladders. About 55 people died here leading up to 1985, which is when they stopped filing reports on trail casualties. You should always go to the Drakensberg Traverse with at least one other person. Written guides and hiking maps are available for visitors. Use them. Don't forget about the weather. The tall grass in the summer makes walking difficult, and the winter can be extremely cold. Your best bet is to go in the spring or fall. Striding Edge, UK. This sharp mountain ridge leads to the summit of Helvellyn, which is the 3rd highest peak in the Lake District National Park. The hike is notoriously dangerous due to the incredibly fast-changing weather of the region. Thrill seekers walk directly on the ridge, but you can also hike along the paths on the side. There are several spots where you can easily slip and lose your footing. Make sure you are taking steady and careful steps. Spiral edge is an extremely slippery part of the path, especially in the winter when it's often covered in ice and snow. In 2013, a married couple fell about 120 meters from spiral edge. Luckily, a team of 13 rescue workers was training nearby and got to the scene within minutes. Miraculously, neither of the hikers had any life-threatening injuries. Pacaya Volcano, Guatemala. This hike takes place on an active volcano that could erupt at any moment. It erupted in 2010 and 2013 and continuously spewed hot ash between eruptions. The ground-sounding Pacaya is so hot that it could melt the soles of your shoes. The hike can be extremely slippery when it rains, so you're better off going in November, which is Guatemala's dry season. Bring your best hiking boots and wear layers, because even though it's a volcano, the winds can make it very cold. It's recommended that you spend at least a week in the area to get used to the elevation and avoid altitude sickness. You'll be able to toast some treats with the heat of the volcanic rock, so don't forget to bring marshmallows. The Kokoda Track, Papua New Guinea. This treacherous hike is about 96 kilometers long and takes about 2 weeks to complete. The path is full of slippery tree roots and ankle-deep mud. You must get a permit to take this hike, and organizers recommend that you train for up to a year before facing this challenge. The Kokoda is in almost constant sunlight, so bring sunscreen and always hydrate yourself if you feel thirsty. If you come across any streams, take a minute and splash your face and wet your head to cool yourself down. Remember, this is not a race. Pace yourself and rest if you have to. If you feel dizzy, alert your guide and ask your group to take a break. When you choose to take a multi-day hike, it's important to wear the right gear, be in good shape, and bring plenty of supplies. Just make sure to take the trash with you and don't leave any food lying around. You could attract a hungry animal to your tent, including an angry wild pig or two. This is one of many potentially deadly mistakes that campers make. We have a whole list of things that could get you killed on your outdoor adventure. Watch it here on How to Survive.